Greetings, Captain. I hope you didn't have any setbacks on your journey.
Hey there, Rebus Trevor here. Should just say off the bat, this game's pretty good. I think it's going to be one to watch. Probably even one to buy now and play as much as you can until you run out of content, and then play again, like I have. I'm a sucker for spaceships. This game's got spaceships. It's kind of like Star Control if Star Control wasn't a series of compromises. By which I mean, I don't think you can entirely avoid text quests in these sorts of games, but they're not really my sort of thing. If I want to read, I'll read a book. This game strikes a good balance of having voice acting. Well, I say balance, it's not really a balance because there's also small novellas worth of stories that you have to read. Luckily, they do tend to be summed up at least somewhat, and there's a whole bunch of mini games that aren't directly spaceships. You've got a dice-based combat game. It's not terrible. We'll cover that in a little while. And a whole load of skill checks to take every now and then. There's also a load of fiddly micromanaging, some stuff that I feel could be much more efficiently enacted. But mostly I've just really enjoyed the combat from this, and it's got me through all of the various other game components that I don't necessarily take to as much. So well played to the game. For now, let's have a little look at Between the Stars and what lies therein. Also, here's a little bit of a spoiler, so you might want to avoid this, but I think the devs deserve huge amounts of credit for this, if nothing else. Just had an epic battle, was pumped to progress to the next mission. Even my character in game was excited, and then this happened.
Engines at full power.
We're ready. May, time to go to Nova Magna. May?
We have a problem, Captain. The sectors of the children are completely empty. It's as if they never existed.
What's that supposed to mean? Intensify the scan. Will we have to wait until a new update to infiltrate the sectors of the Children of the Sun?
I'm afraid the developers haven't been able to include more events from the main story, Captain. We are paralyzed.
That's why I hate early access games. We haven't paid for an unfinished story.
The two humans in charge of the game have a strange obsession with not working more than 12 hours a day. I find it strange that humanity has not fallen to artificial intelligence as yet.
Which I thought, all in all, was a pretty funny way of handling the content gate that comes with playing an early access game. So kudos to the devs there. Okay, so I enjoyed this game so much, the moment I finished Game 2, which was my sort of main campaign game, Game 1 was somewhat abortive. I immediately started again in the hope that there'd be some sort of carryover with some of the things that I'd unlocked from my first run. Sadly there wasn't, and they really ought to have something like that to encourage replay. It's not absolutely essential. What's the point in going around unlocking loads of blueprints and being a bit of a completionist if there's nothing to gain from it? Especially during the early access, because by the time you've unlocked everything, all of the missions have run out. If you could at least carry over your weapon blueprints, or even just give you access to the ships you've already unlocked, I think it would add a lot more mileage to their early access. Anyway, let's get on with a bit of looking at this. They do have a prologue, it's your tutorial. It's good that there's an option to skip it, so that you don't have to play a tutorial all of the time, because tutorials are awful. Well, you join me. Fire, 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 fire. You join me on my way to complete a mission, apparently. Got a bounty hunter mission here to complete. Just fired off a load of guided missiles for no good reason. The thing that I really enjoy about this game is the control mechanism. It's a bit like sort of a arcadey flight situation. If you've ever flown anything on a keyboard, you've flown this spaceship here. Except for acceleration, perhaps, that's done with the middle mouse button. But it creates a nice dynamic sort of flight experience. Very much enjoying, especially in the midst of combat. You can also manage your shield and energy distribution. I say shield and energy distribution, it's really the energy distribution to your shield's weapon and engine. You can hear my engine going a bit crosser there, and they're less cross. I normally cruise around with my shields up, so I don't forget to put them up when some baddies pop out, as they are prone to do. On board your ship, you've got a whole bunch of different ways of interfacing. Sometimes you have text missions here, and there's sort of a bit of a narrative with a creepy tablet and some other shenanigans going on. More than once I've had to visit the sick bay on account of having a fairly serious case of the irradiation. You've also got A whole load of micromanagement to do here. You can heal your sick people. Unfortunately, Francois over here, he's got a bad case of the sniffles with an autoimmune crisis that I can't currently solve. Boo. You can also research various different things at various different times, any weapons that you discover that you haven't currently unlocked. As I say, at the moment that feels like a bit of a waste of time. I really thought the blueprints would carry through into this save when I couldn't build a load of artillery cannons on this save, on this playthrough. My heart sank a little bit, I can't deny. You can also build the things that you've researched. Oh shit, I can build artillery cannons. I like artillery cannons. We'll get to these in a moment. Yes, artillery cannons. Okay, that was a bit too much enthusiasm. I'll have to edit that out. Yes, artillery cannons. That was a bit muted. That's going to sound strange after the last one. Let's try and get a middle ground. I'm enthusiastic about artillery cannons. Not entirely sure I'm going to be able to save this. Let's move on. Back to departments. So, and you can also scrap stuff for these individual components here, which, you know, I reckon that will probably have a bit more use once the game is in a more final state. This is my crew. Say hello to my crew. We've got Francois, who's got the autoimmune crisis, which as a Crohn's sufferer I can sort of empathise with. Now I'm gonna do my best to keep this fella alive. And the rest of you well people, you can suffer and toil. And this is where your missions live. I'm still on the starter ship. I'm saving up for the most expensive ship in the game, which is 35,000. Though I fear I might not find that until a bit further along. My penny pinching is going great though, except for having craft. Yeah, that didn't cost me any credits. Excellent. So I'm gonna be building myself a load of artillery cannons. At the moment, as I say, all about the missiles, which are probably all gonna shoot me. I'm pretty certain you can do friendly fire with these things. If I was to point at my ship, they'd all come back at me. I'm pretty certain after one large battle when I'd been spamming shots, I was just looking at my ship. And they all exploded again. Let's test this. Can I damage myself? No, good. Be very disappointed if that were the case. It must have been the enemy's rockets. Yeah, I'm still on 100%. Excellent. Okay. I can stop worrying about that. Although I could have accidentally steered them back round onto myself. Either way, if you go with a rocket-heavy build, beware. So, here we are. I've got to fight three little fellas. Now, my rockets aren't particularly long-ranged, so I have to kind of get in there a bit. And let's dodge, which actually matters in this game, which I like. In fact, you get asked questions about that very topic. I have to do a bit of a retreat so I don't get completely destroyed. But, you know, I always feel quite tense, because it can all go very badly very quickly. Need to keep targeted. Yeah, I'm being hit by rockets. Will he blow up? And now my rockets, now there's quite a few in the sky, or space, will carry on targeting the enemy. But I've taken a lot of damage in this. More than I ever wanted to. But that's what happens sometimes when you record. Let's pretend that me losing
Excellent work, team. Are you
as
all
much.
okay?
Okay, shut up, me. Let's pretend that me losing as much health as I just lost isn't necessarily reflective of my ability. So here's one of these missions that you get. I'm gonna do a skill check and I'll go and take a look. Need a 7. Yay! I basically take every single opportunity to do a dice roll that I can, because bit of a chancer. Okay, so I've done this quest like 3 or 4 times, so I'm not gonna, you know, the point here is that there are text quests, and I'm gonna, you know, skip through this so as not to do spoilers. Because actually, as much as I hate to admit it, the writing's been pretty solid, and I've enjoyed the main narrative. Basically a bit of a stowaway occurrence. Okay, so seeing as I absolutely failed in that combat, and man, I wish my artillery... I want artillery cannons all over my ship. Let's see how I'm coming along with the artillery cannon. Let's get another one of those on the make. If at all possible. Okay, so I need 300 protonite. Let's see what these are worth. Let's get one of my low-end missile launchers out. And see what I get if I scrap this. Only 50. That's a load of rubbish. How much is it worth? Money-wise? Okay, you know, I'm going to keep that and sell it. I'm not happy. I'm not happy flogging that for 60 odd protonite, whatever nonsense resource. Nothing to research. Saw a crew member needs leveling up. I mean, this is all stuff that I do despite my reluctance and disdain for this sort of micromanaging. I feel like especially the sickbay could just be a progress bar. I don't need to see any of this. Look, I have to press heal here, then I have to press heal here. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. I can't believe you have to press any buttons to make your crew members heal, let alone 2 or 3. Anyway, got myself an artillery cannon. I've expressed my disdain towards the fact that you have to micromanage your crew healing. Let's see if I leveled up at all. Nope. Gone for an emo do. Okay, the reason I like artillery cannons is because of that. They don't fire very often. In fact, let's see if I can upgrade this. Upgrading is also a thing. And no. And no. Okay. I cannot upgrade. So let's go to the station and heal, and hope that in the interim I get attacked. Because I really am a big fan of the artillery cannons. And I'd love an opportunity to show one off. Come on. No. Go on, someone attack me. Yeah! Almost like clockwork.
Activate the weapons. All crew to battle
Okay,
stations.
let's get artillery cannony. Although, actually, I'm only on 80% health, so this could go a bit wrong. So it's been a little while since I fired an artillery cannon, but and it's definitely a bit more of a skill shot scenario. So it's going to take a bit of practice. But when you get the shots that hit, it's glorious. Oh, you... Which might not even be in this combat, apparently.
One of the enemy ships has been destroyed.
Come on, artillery cannon. It might have happened whilst I was looking away for a second. Okay, my rockets have killed it long before I got an opportunity to.
Targets neutralized, crew. We're out of danger.
There's going to be a fair amount of jump cuts in this, whilst I, you know, remove the amount of travelling through empty space.
Republic ship requesting docking permission, please.
Welcome, Captain. Dock at the assigned bay, please.
I also think this is a bit of a faff to have to do every single time. I wish there was a button, or, you know, from here, I'm sort of safe. I've got to... It's fun the first few times, but I mean, this is faff territory for me. The 30th or 40th time you've docked at your own station. And I'm saying that this game has some flaws, but despite all of the perceivable flaws, I can't wait for an update. I want to progress with my campaign, where I'm pretty far through, or at least as far through as the early access will allow. And I've overshot it. Let's do a little reverse. There we go. And now it will auto-dock. Because it wouldn't have just been easier to have that happen whilst I was some distance away. Only on certain scripted missions will the enemy actually attack a station, at least so far. So I do feel that once you're within like the safe halo of a station, all of the parking is just totally redundant. Anywho, let's have a tiny look at one of these stations. You've got your commercial zone, which will feature blueprints, crew, a means of repairing, which I just did, and various different equipment and whatnot. You'll also get different stations that have shipyards. You can visit the planets for a lot more of the same. And you can also get missions from here, or not from here, but from the stations that allow that. Can't sell equipment here, not shocked. Have to wait for another platform that does that. You'll also get on the various different stations odd little encounters that you can perform. Here, for instance, you get to have like a simulated combat experience. I assume it levels up the crew, and it shows you people what the away team sort of combat missions are like. So, this is level 5 of the arcade missions. I think this might be the last one. Let's have a little go in the holodeck. So all you really do is... Got 2 points to spend there, action points. I can use those on equipment. Roll me attack dice. I've got an armor point there, so I'll get 2 armors. He's got 4 attacks, which is going to be a bit of a nuisance. I could equip extra armor. That would cost 2 points. That would cost 1 point. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to resolve the roll. I lost 2 points because one of the points of damage went against one of my fellows with armor. Which was all according to my plan. Even attacks, but I guess some of their people... I'm not entirely certain on the logic that underpins who achieves what attack. All I can derive from this is that the enemy have an attack capacity of 8 and my attack capacity of 7. So, you know, sucks to be me. But I get to level that up with a random shot from my Republic pistol. Take that, Stellan Zimmerman. I'm gonna have to put some healing down. Ooh, that's gonna be rubbish. 2 action points, so let's heal you so you don't get killed all in one go. And this isn't going very well. Need to cause some big damage to the enemy, but all I'm getting is defensive dice. These two really, you know, they're looking at me and they're saying, can we have some health? This isn't very good at all. I feel like my team are better than their team. Certainly getting better dice rolls. How did they have a higher attack value if they're the same team as me? Well, this is going terribly. My team is beating my team quite brutally. Oh. Come on, dice. No, this won't do. This won't do, dice. I'm gonna start dropping crew members. Well, this is the worst one of these combats has gone. Might not even show it. Okay, I mean, that requires 3 points. Don't have 3 points. I think we need to retreat. Either way, you saw the combat, and it's good to have a bit of practice in the combat in these arcades, because your people don't actually get injured. Having to individually heal up all of those crew members if they'd all been actually injured in a combat, which does happen, can be quite tedious. But as I said already, none of the individual game mechanics, we'll call them mini-games, that I might not necessarily take to have been big enough issues to get in the way of just enjoying flying around and getting into combat and upgrading my ship, which I can't deny for me are the biggest draws, by some way, without a shadow of a doubt. Gonna just quickly check out this planet. I really want to make as much... Oh, okay, this is, you know, again, not really what I'm into the game for, but certainly not a big enough issue to put me off. I want people to focus on aiming because hopefully that will mitigate some of the disadvantages that I experience as a consequence of my own aiming. And onward. Just like the space stations, all you really have is a rotatable object with a couple of points of interest on it. Here we have the hangar and the exit. So, a very exciting planet. Yep, I can't see anything else there. Probably be a delivery quest there at some point. Both of my missions in the top right require me going to this Taimu. I'm not going to try and say it, but different system.
Greetings, Captain. I hope you didn't have any setbacks on your journey here.
All of our missions have setbacks, sir. In fact, I must speak with you in private.
The War Council will be held in a few hours. Whatever it is, we'll have to wait. Land immediately, and take care of everything before the Council.
At your disposal, Admiral.
I mean, he says that, but I've been at this stage in the game for a little while trying to build up my money so that I can afford the biggest ship as soon as I can find it. So I mean, like, this War Council can just wait. This doesn't sound important. It's not like it's the council of buying me Star Wars Lego. That would be, you know, a much more significant council by my estimation. Don't fly into asteroids whilst you're going at top speed. That would be a piece of advice I could offer to everybody in their lives. This looks like a mission that might end up in a little bit of a combat. I'm mostly just reading the highlighted text, just to skip through, and now I'm not even really reading any of it. I mean, it's everything that I have read is very, very good. Oh. Ooh. You know, I like the idea that in the story there might be some sort of piece of information that if you don't read, then it sucks to be you. And I appear to have found it. I bet the code would have been in the messages that I've just skipped through at light speed. So well done me. Looking at the time, I realised that this is massively overrun, and I was aiming for sort of 10 minutes, and I reckon this is going to be at least 4 hours. That said, if you want any more of this, because there is like literally a story mission just moments away. Actually, you know what? Let's just skip to that. I should also point out that this game is the hardcore mode. If I die, I'm dead and I have to start again, and I'll cry. I will literally cry. So that's one of the reasons that I've been looking forward to getting a bigger ship before progressing with any of the story missions. Okay then, let's get on with this Council of War. I've got 100% health. I can handle a campaign mission and unlocking the map a little bit more, just in case anyone does want to see some combat, as opposed to just me faffing around with all the mini games. Nice smooth 9 frames per second there in the loading screen. There, I said it. I'm not afraid to call
I hope you didn't
that
have any
hyperspace
setbacks on
bit
your journey here.
In fact,
a loading
I'll speak
screen.
with you in private.
The War Council will be
Hello
held in
again.
a few hours. Whatever it is, we'll have to
People
wait.
watching this video will
Land
have just
immediately
heard this.
And take care of everything before the council.
I did a little...
At your
Stop
disposal,
interrupting
Admiral.
me. I did a little bit of collecting resources whilst this game was... whilst I wasn't recording. I've only got a limited amount of hard drive space for recording, and I'm up against it. So I'm hoping that I can get through this mission before Elgato consumes the last space on my hard drive. There's never enough hard drives when you're editing video. This is something I've learnt to my great expense. Come on, planet. I'm actually, for once, hoping I won't get attacked on the way. Although you can always do with the resources. Where is the Council of War? That's up here. There are very often objectives hiding on the poles, which are a little bit difficult to see. So this is the beginning of the main narrative, intergalactic betrayal and conflict. It's all pretty good stuff. I'm not going to make it easy for anyone to read that. Before I wasn't very cautious. I'm having a go at being more cautious this time. So I now have to go to my bridge on board my ship. And I've been intercepted by... Oh no, I've got to go and look for Admiral Daryl Flynn. Don't have a great amount of trust for people called Daryl. Sorry to anyone called Daryl out there. Earlier on I found the spaceship in question, so I am announcing this. And now I have to escort a couple of ships to go and find the ship. Or to recover the ship.
We'll set off immediately. We'll escort you to the ship and begin to dock, sir. Keep your eyes peeled. We could run into enemy ships in the sector.
Understood, Captain. We'll keep the rear and jump once you confirm the coordinates.
Roger. Crew, to your positions. Our current objective is to recover the Genesis.
So, let us go and recover this vessel. As per my instructions. Add another 40 minutes onto this video. I am really nervous because, as I say, if I get killed, as far as I'm aware on this hardcore mode, that's it. That's it, Sonny. I'm gonna have to delete my first save to find out what the terms and conditions on my third save are. You only get 3 saves. Okay, our engine's being interfered with. We are being intercepted. It's good.
Activate the shields. Let's finish them off.
I love artillery cannons. I don't really want to be in range of the enemy at all. Ugh. There's 2 modes of firing.
Ships has been destroyed.
One that focuses on forward maneuvering, and one that gives you 360 angles. And I wish that it was just the 360. Very often I go to attack beyond this angle, and then all of a sudden I can't, and it takes a while for my brain to register what I'm doing wrong. So, can keep him at range, and just fill the air with missiles, and get him with the occasional artillery cannon shot. Sorted. Lost 2% health.
Targets neutralized, crew. We're out
That
of
is within acceptable parameters. I just wish all these rockets would stop exploding around me. And let's get a wiggle on to this mission, so I can be humiliatingly destroyed, thus ending any opportunities for a further episode of this playthrough. Which, if anyone wants, let me know.
There it is. We reached the coordinates. May, send the signal to the freighters immediately.
Yes, Captain.
Attention everyone. We must secure the construction of the docking structure. Notify me of any incoming signal.
This is going to go so badly. There's going to be incoming signals. So, what we have here is a big famous spaceship and a docking platform, within which it was either being repaired or constructed.
We've been detected.
To the battle
I need to keep
stations.
those two
We
ships
must
alive.
protect the cargo ships. We will not allow the Children of the Sun to capture the Genesis.
Hey, no fair. They're well within range. I panicked and wasted all my shots. You have to, like, not let your weapon overheat, because you will get a lot less shots out that way. One less.
One of the enemy ships has been destroyed.
So, excuse me for all the clicking, but if I hold the weapon down, it will overheat unduly.
Captain!
Ah, that's one down already.
Captain Rose's ship has fallen. At this point, we won't be able to dock with the Genesis.
Don't leave your posts. I'll ensure they don't reach you.
Oh, I can't make that promise. I wish I didn't make promises that I can't make. Keep. He's closer. Oh, I wish I had nothing but artillery cannons. Ugh, stupid overheating weapons. Oh, this isn't going very well. Their health's already down to 60%, I think. Okay, got my special. I can just hold down the trigger for a
Enemy
bit.
ships has been destroyed.
Excellent. Another one down. And there's another one behind me. I'm probably shooting at the one that's further away, thus wasting everyone's time.
Good work, team. Stay alert. We're not out of danger. We must finish off the Children of the Sun before leaving the area.
One less. Where are you? Okay. Downrange. My health is still looking very, very, very good. Excellent. Okay, I can't deny, that was all very tense.
The children's ships. It looks like we've made it.
It's the least we could do for Scott. I won't let Nardos have the Genesis.
Nardos. I don't know why, but I find that name endlessly entertaining. Let's hear what Daryl's got to say. So, orders to travel to the wider universe.
Before the children's reinforcements reach Tasset Stella. Let's finish what Scott started.
On your mark, Captain.
Every time they sound like they're going to go into warp before I've collected all of the resources in an involuntary, I don't get to choose sort of way, I get very anxious. But yeah, that was a mission done. For now, I will be hoarding money in an attempt to buy the biggest spaceship I can as soon as I find it. I'm going to get to this station and heal my 3% health. I'm going to whine about having to park my spaceship. I really was half expecting to just get destroyed in the first mission. I got killed quite a few times in the campaign I played previously, so me making it through the entire campaign without being killed once is by no means guaranteed. But all I need is 10 grand and I will be able to buy the biggest ship. So, if you want to see where that goes, and you want to see me get a bigger spaceship, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to carry on having a blast playing this myself. For now, toodle pip, and, you know, consider this game if you like spaceships. Pun entirely intended.